Hello, friends, and welcome to Sales Funnel Tuesday. I'm your host, Kerry, Knoll, and thank you so much for tuning into today's episode about how to use UTM tracking parameters within ClickFunnels. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and bell notification. If you like this video and get some good value out of it, please hit the like or thumbs up as well, whether you're watching this on YouTube, LinkedIn, or on Facebook. And as always, I encourage you to share this with anyone that might find it of interest or benefit them. That would be much appreciated. Please leave me a comment as well, or say hi if you're tuning in live or even on replay. I appreciate that as always. So let me share with you what I have for you today. So real quick, I'm at Google. I just typed in UTM stands for, right? And one of the first things I come up with was, what is UTM term in Google Analytics? UTM stands for Urchin Tracking Module, in case you were curious. I never refer to it as Urchin Tracking Module. I always refer to it as UTM, and so does almost everyone else in this world. UTM parameters have been around since it seems like the dawn of time with the internet, and they were originally designed to tell Google Analytics and other analytic tools a little bit more about information about each link and which marketing campaign it related to. Okay, so I am going to go over to ClickFunnels now. I'm going to show you quickly into the statistics of a funnel here. This is for my microserviceinsiders.com. I just clicked on stats, and any funnel within ClickFunnels, you can do this. And then what you have here is filters, and you can expand these filters. And when you do that, you see you have UTM content, you have UTM medium, UTM name, UTM source, UTM term. So these are the parameters that ClickFunnels acknowledges. And so in order to put this into code or into the URL itself, it would be like UTM underscore content equals, UTM underscore medium equals, UTM underscore name equals. It's always UTM underscore whatever the other variable might be, right? In this case, source or term, and then equals, and then the value that's assigned to it from the place that you want to track the information that's coming from, right? So if I was going to use another example of this, let's say we were doing a Facebook ad. This one's for obviously just an example advertisement for a dentist advertorial for teeth whitening, right? And bottom line is, if you go down to the ad level and you scroll all the way down to the very bottom of an ad, you're going to see something called tracking. And then if you keep on going past tracking, you're going to see URL parameters, optional, add parameters to the end of your website URL to track where visitors are coming from. And you can click learn more to learn more about it. You can add the values here if you know what you want to add in here. But you can build a URL parameter by clicking this link. And when you do so, it pops this up and it says build a URL parameter, fill out the fields in the form below to add parameters to your website URL to automatically get information from your campaign ad set or ad. Click in each field and select a dynamic parameter such as ID, and it shows what that looks like. You can click here to learn more even about this. Now, you'll notice it says campaign source, campaign medium, campaign name, and campaign content. And let's see which one of those actually match up. So we have source, medium, name, and content. Content, medium, name, and source. We have 4 of the 5. We don't have term over here in Facebook, but we can click add a parameter. We can give it a parameter name. And in this case, we could say term. I believe it's just term. It might be UTM underscore term. I cannot recall for sure, but you can test it out and see what the URL looks like, and then assign it a value, right? So term being whatever you want term to be. I mean, this could be a keyword. This could be an actual time frame. It does not matter. You decide what these different parameters or these different variables mean to you, right? But if you wanted to, like underneath campaign source, it says select a dynamic parameter or enter a value to identify the source of traffic, for example, Facebook, Instagram, or search engine or other source. So if I was running this ad extensively only on Facebook, I would just put in Facebook here probably, right? So my campaign source would be Facebook. Well, if I know this is my parameter I'm using here, value, I should say value, not parameter, because the parameter is UTM underscore source, but the value is Facebook. And then I came back over to ClickFunnels and I run this ad, and it was going to this funnel, let's say, and I wanted to test out what the source was for this particular campaign to see the tracking on that particular source. If I know I was just using Facebook, I just put Facebook in here. So it matches, right? So UTM source or campaign source is Facebook here in the ad. And then if I want to see what values came from that particular ad using that particular value, I would just type the value in here or paste it in here. So that's why it's Good to know what your values are, because if you know your values, you can plug them in, and then you can apply a filter, and you can see the tracking that was associated with those particular values. Okay. So I hope that doesn't get it too complicated. But the problem is if you don't know what these are, right? So let's say campaign source is site source name, like this site source name. So it's dynamic, right? So that dynamic means it could be Facebook, it could be Instagram, it could be perhaps other locations. I don't know what all that goes into site source name. That's a problem for me, right? So I don't know what this is going to look like at the end result, meaning I can't just take this. I cannot use this, copy this. I cannot come back in here and then paste this in here and get some kind of value or some kind of statistics from this. It does not work that way, because this is a dynamic variable, which means it's going to be swapped out for, say, Facebook, or maybe perhaps Instagram, or wherever else your ad might be showing up. So the problem with using these dynamic values is you don't know what is all stored in each of these dynamic values. When you do something like just Facebook, or you just type in Instagram, you know exactly what you used in that particular URL. So that's why it's maybe best to keep it simple, especially early on when you're learning just how to set all this up and to use this tracking information to your benefit, so you can figure out which ads are more or less driving data and making sales for you, or whatever, giving you leads. This might be the best way to do it. Under campaign medium, again, it says to identify advertising medium, for example, banner, email, Facebook feed, or Instagram story. So this is basically almost like placement. Again, they have a placement one that's dynamic, which will fill in the blank for the placement, which is very cool. Problem is, again, what are all of them? This is examples. Are these all, or is this just a portion of all of the versions, right? I don't know that. Same with campaign name, to identify a specific promotion or strategic campaign, for example, summer sale. Well, this you could use, again, a campaign name. So like if you know your campaign name, that's fine. So if I put in campaign name, and then I know my campaign name is traffic hyphen XYZ dental hyphen advertorial, well, then I can copy and paste that in directly into ClickFunnels under UTM name. But that's a long-winded, basically, value that I don't need. I can make it much simpler if I just say, well, this is going to be about, teeth whitening. And just put a hyphen between them, or I can do underscore between them, or I can make them all one word. It just totally depends on how you want to do it. I would not put spaces between them. And that's why also if I use something like campaign name and my campaign had spaces, that might mess up things a bit. It might actually add the ampersand 20 between all spaces, which is HTML version of a space. So it looks like this. It looks like this 20 would be a space in between the words. So you might have to have, if you did the campaign name, traffic with a space and then hyphen and then 20 pound 20, right? Oops, that wasn't a hyphen. That's an equal sign. My bad. And then you had, XYZ dental. And again, instead of a space there between dental and XYZ, you had ampersand 20. And then, so it gets really convoluted, right? With all spaces. That's why we remove spaces by doing underscores, or we do hyphens between words, or we just keep the words all in one. That's it. So that's how you would set up and utilize UTM parameters for ClickFunnels. Facebook ads has is you build a URL parameter. So if you're using Facebook ads, you can easily build these out for your own, add any extra parameters you want, like the UTM parameter, UTM term parameter. If you want to use all 5 of these, totally up to you. You decide on the naming convention. You decide on which information is pertinent to each of your ads or ad sets or ad campaigns in general, to identify exactly where your traffic is coming from. So I hope you got some good value out of this. I hope you understood what I was talking about for the most part. I hope I shed some light if it was a bit confusing and you didn't understand it before. I hope I delivered it in the most dummy down way possible so you could completely get it and obviously take advantage of it so that you can get better analytics and stats from your advertising campaigns, right? So that's the goal here. So again, I appreciate you for tuning in. And if you did are watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, bell notification. If you did get some good value out of this and like this video, please hit the like or thumbs up as well, whether you're watching this on YouTube, LinkedIn, or on Facebook. And as always, please share this with anyone who might benefit from this or find it of interest. And leave a comment if you would. I'd appreciate that. And until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And we'll see you guys back here again tomorrow. Take care.